US President Donald Trump has hailed what he is calling a monumental victory after the Supreme Court ruled individual judges lack the authority to grant nationwide injunctions. The ruling is related to Mr Trump's bid to limit the birthright citizenship, but it did not allow his policy to go into effect immediately, nor did it address its legality. Take a look.
Thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. But this lets us go there and finally win that case. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people.
Mark Stone has more on this story.
In a sense, the birthright citizenship is I mean, it's a massive issue, but it's somewhat of a sideshow at the moment, although it will become an issue when the Supreme Court rules on it down the line. But this was kind of the vehicle through which this much bigger ruling has emerged, and it is that federal judges will no longer have the power to be able to freeze or block Donald Trump's executive orders, his legislation. He has been deeply, deeply frustrated over the course of this second presidency that so much of his efforts and his legislation has been blocked. Now, critics of him would argue that that is the guardrails working as they should. Three equal branches of power in America. The executive branch, this building, the presidency, is one. The other is the judiciary. The other is Congress, and that they are all equal and they work together. But Donald Trump's view is that, as he said, radical left judges in just a very few leftist states across the country and leftist federal jurisdictions have been blocking his attempts to push things through, and much of this has focused. Much of these blocks have been focused on Donald Trump's immigration policies. Judges concerned about his ability to be able to push through things that they think are simply unconstitutional, and so over the past few weeks and months we've seen them blocking this legislation that Trump wants to push through. Well, now they won't be able to, because the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, has said that they can't. They're overreaching their power. And Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a conservative, a Trump appointee, remember the Supreme Court is now weighted towards conservatives. She said, when a court concludes that the executive branch has acted unlawfully, the answer is not for the court to exceed its power too. So the crux of this is the Supreme Court believing that these federal judges are going beyond the limits of their power. The result is that Donald Trump will have free rein to do an awful lot that he was otherwise unable to do, or that he was blocked from being able to do by the judicial branch of power in this country.